Hello, me lovelies. Well, I thought I'd talk about this incident in Wisbech where the police were called to a Reform UK stall after a complaint had been made of a hate incident. Now, I have to clarify something here. The police officer states wrongly that a complaint has come in of a hate crime, or it could be seen as a hate crime.
Say, speak English, or words to that
No,
effect?
speak clearly.
Speak clearly.
No,
Okay.
the gentleman's partially deaf,
Yeah, he
Okay.
can speak clearly.
Yeah.
so I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
No, it can't, and I'll explain why it can't be seen as a hate crime. It's one of these annoying non-crime hate incidents where I don't know why the police are involved in them, because if it's not a crime, they've got no business getting involved. But anyway, that's what the police officer says, hate crime. He gets that wrong, but you can tell the police officer is uncomfortable and willing to go forward with this. The allegation was that a man asked someone to speak English, and this person must have taken great offence to that and seen it as being racist, and so reports to the police. Now, what confused me at the time was not only that the officers incorrectly saying that it's a hate crime, was the police wouldn't deal with something like that. If you phoned up the police and you said, my experience of them anyway, if you turn around and said to the police, I've just suffered a hate crime, someone asked me to speak English. It depends how the person says it. If the person is being aggressive and being funny with someone to make a point, saying you're not English, speak English, then yeah, it could be offensive, but it wouldn't be considered a crime. But if someone just says, can you speak English? There's no way that's a crime, and no control room is going to deploy officers to that scene. They'll just say, it's not a police matter, sorry, we can't help you with that one. But then it came out that actually the person who made the complaint was a mayor of the area, Sydney Imafiden. Now, that changes the whole issue, and then I understood why the police are called out. Because he was a mayor and he's someone of importance in that area, the police will be wary that he has a direct line to the chiefs of the force, or even the chief constable of the force, and that if they don't go and attend the situation, there'll be a big complaint coming in. So that's why they attend. If it was Joe Public that asked, nothing would happen, you'd just be sent on your way. Now, this is where I really get annoyed that people do, and I remember, and any police on here or members of police staff on here who work for a force will know this. How many times have you heard your supervision telling you when someone like a councillor, an MP, a mayor, someone with influence in the area is coming into the station, and you're told, oh, make sure you do everything right, make sure you make them comfortable, make sure blah, 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 because they have the ear of the chief. They have the ear of the chief. I always saw that as saying basically the chiefs were corrupt because they could be influenced. There's supposed to be no outside influence on policing, but there is. We all know there is. There's certain people who can get their own way by whispering in the ear of a chief officer. Now, I'm not saying this happened in Sydney's case. I'm not saying he's got influence over the chief. Well, he will have influence because of his position, but I'm not saying he'd use that influence. Just because someone has influence doesn't mean that they'll use it. I've noticed that as well, that not everyone that can get the ear of the chief will get the ear of the chief, so I'm not saying that would happen. But it's just a total ridiculous situation at the end of the day. I mean, if someone saw that as being distressing and alarming and racist, yeah, as I say, if it's said in a way that is obviously trying to belittle someone because they're not English or their origin isn't English, yeah, you could see that as being offensive, but it's not a crime. You can't see it as being a crime. Anyway, to test the theory, I'm just wondering if someone will go up to a police officer, anyone out there who can speak another language, try speaking to a police officer in that language, and then if they ask you if you can understand English, say, oh yes, I can understand English perfectly, fluently. Then start speaking in the foreign language again. And if the police turn around and say to you, please can you speak English? Say, oh my God, that's a hate crime, a hate crime. I'm distressed and alarmed. You've just committed a hate crime by asking me to speak English. Well, even asking them if they can understand English, that must be a hate incident, or what the police officer calls a hate crime. Total nonsense, pathetic. And in my mind, if that mayor did, if it is factual that a mayor did put that complaint in, he should be pulled for it. He should be pulled, definitely, because it's just using the police, because he's a Conservative apparently, and he made other complaints. But to me, this is me personally, I'd see that as a vexatious complaint, using the police to bully someone. That's how I'd see it. But I'll leave that, my lovelies. Bye-bye for now.